Let's talk about how I would go from 0 to 10K a month with AI cold email if I had to start over again. This is the no BS guide, by the way. I'm not going to say I would do something and then I would do something totally different. No, this is exactly what I would do. As you can see, I've done this several times before, several times over. This was my first biggest break. This was at the end of 2023, and then from there it's all kind of routine. You kind of do the same things over and over again. So not only have I done this myself several times over to much higher degrees, but I've helped these other people do the same in my done for you agency offers and done with you consulting offers. Anyway, so in this video we will discuss tactics, but we will also address the psychological and mental component here, because you will find that every income level, make sure you can see this, every income level requires a different you. And you only really realize this in hindsight, but there's a hack to this, which is just to ask yourself who you need to become. So don't focus on the dollar amount. If you want to make 50K a month, saying this as someone who is at that level, or who has already hit that level, you have to ask yourself, don't focus on, how to make 50K a month. Focus on, I know it sounds backwards, but focus on who you have to become. Who you have to become in terms of like what character traits. It's not as abstract and woo as it might sound. It's the actual thing. So for example, to get to your first dollar a month, you got to be someone that sells something or puts something out there, i.e. you have to be courageous. $10,000 a month, you got to be someone who learns, who is consistent, who so on and so forth, takes risks, right? So on and so forth. And I could go into much more depth. Actually, I will, because today we're talking about 10K a month. But for other dollar amounts, we'll reserve that for other videos where we go deeper into the 20K a month playbook, the 50K a month playbook, yada yada yada. So let's discuss the math here. So it gets a lot easier when you do the math, but I'm going to assume that you're already sick and tired of being broke. Let me rephrase that, because who am I to assume that you're broke? You're probably not. Most people who watch this channel have something going on for them, or they are, they're in the process of changing that situation. But I'm going to assume that you've already covered like the psychological component, meaning you're already sick and tired of not being where you want to be. Let's say it that way. You're sick and tired of not being where you want to be. So I don't have to convince you to do things, okay? Because if I have to convince you to change your life, then skip this video. This is not for you yet, okay? When you're sick and tired of working that corporate job, or having a boss, or having someone tell you what to do, or whatever it is, like I was, then this stuff all gets easier. You're willing to do whatever it takes. Cool. Next thing is, I know this is titled like how to go from 0 to 10K a month as fast as possible, or whatever I'm going to title it. But at the same time, your mentality to not only hit 10K a month, but also to like dwarf that. As you see, I it's not uncommon for me to do this in a day. And this is only Stripe, by the way. It's not showing you wires and stuff like that anyway, not to brag, whatever. But what you should, like the mentality that you should have, if you really want to like just make a stupid amount of money, is not to ask yourself how long this is going to take, or by what time you should hit 10K a month. Your attitude should be, I'm going to do this for as long as it takes. Because what are you going to do? You're going to stop? You're not there yet. So do it for as long as it takes to hit 10K a month. And when we talk about do what, well, that's what we'll talk about in this video. But that should be your mentality for all things. Because again, what are you going to do? You're going to stop? If you do stop, then you came into this without a why. So you should ask yourself, why do you even need 10K a month? Told you we're going to address the psychological component. This is part of it. Why do you even need to hit 10K a month? Why? What is it? Do you got to retire your parents? Do you, what do you want? You want independence? You want to get rid of your job? Prove to yourself that you can do it? What do you want to do? You want to become the number one in your industry? You got to answer this. You got to find something really deep. And also, this thing might not apply, or it might not last or be strong enough when you hit 5K a month. So it's on you, like so much of, it's on you to keep yourself in the game. So we're about to enter the game. It's on you to keep yourself in the game. That's not my job. It's not anybody else's job. It's not my job, not anybody else's job. Not your moms, your dads, your bosses. Nobody cares enough to do this for you. You got to do it. People will present you with the opportunities, the guidance, all the free YouTube videos in the world, but you got to do it. And if you really want to do it, the answers will appear. You'll never have all the answers you need. Get used to it. That's entrepreneurship. Sorry. You want all the answers, you want structure, get a job. Get a job. Now, the biggest, so what entrepreneurship really is, I've said this before, is the greatest endeavor of self-mastery. Okay. Why did I bring that up? Yes, because you have to keep yourself in the game, and part of that, like that in itself is a challenge. Renewing yourself and renewing your commitment every day. In doing so, you become a person of consistency. You become someone who is consistent. When you become someone who is consistent, you continue to do the things even if they are boring on that given Wednesday or Thursday, or the day you don't feel like doing it on that rainy day. That person, as a byproduct, is the person who ends up making 10K a month quite quickly. The person who not only shows up every day because they have a deep why, a why that allows them to go that extra mile. You know what I mean? Right? Whether it's like you want to give yourself a better future, or give your kids a better future, or maybe have kids one day and be able to afford them in this crazy North American economy. Right? You become this person who's consistent. You also become a person who prides himself in consistency and blah, blah, blah. And then this person, it only takes you all you got to do to make 1%, to be a 1%er in terms of like income, is just to do the things that 99% of people aren't willing to do. So show up for 90 days in a row. You automatically become the 1%. These 1% habits will lead you to the 10K a month because people will notice the consistency. You'll also just, by pure math, which we're about to talk about, the math will be in your favor. Just be consistent across the board. So let's talk about the math. Money math. Okay. Again, I'm assuming I don't have to convince you to do this. I'm assuming that you're nervous or you're afraid or whatever it is, but you're going to jump. You're going to jump anyway. Because if I have to tell you to jump or push you off the cliff, sorry, I'm not physically there with you, nor would I do that. But anyway, the money math. You either sell one thing one $10,000 thing one time, one $5,000 thing 2 times, one $2,500 thing 4 times, or $1,000 thing 10 times. Math is very simple. You guys are all smart. Cool. But then the psychological component comes in. And it's like, well, Pablo, what do I even sell that someone's going to pay me $10,000 for? Okay, cool. Don't sell the thing for $10,000. Because if I'm being realistic, nobody is going to take you this seriously, unless you have a history of results, or your position, not just your offer positioning, but the way you show up and present yourself. There's these different subtleties in the way you communicate that let someone know that perhaps you've done this before, or you have strong business acumen, or whatever it is. And so they inadvertently trust you with this thing. So for example, I can sell a consulting package for 10 grand, but what most people aren't telling you that operate at this price point is this is not their first rodeo. So I wouldn't, if you're a total beginner, I wouldn't set you up for failure right here, unless your ability to deliver results is there, right? And then we can talk about the value equation. Okay, whatever you're gonna do will net someone something worth way more than 10K. Very simple, very easy to understand. But we're not going to start here because the psychological component will probably block you from even applying that advice anyway. And that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Scratch that out. You will probably start in one of these 3 categories. I like to start people right here in the $2,500 category. Cool. So the offer that is never going to go out of style is an offer built around client acquisition. There are certain offers that will never go out of style, right? Ever in business, B2B business. I like make more money offers that are going to allow you to make more money. So client acquisition, sales offers, like, sales training, installing closers, stuff like that. I like that stuff, although I've never done it. Some sort of social media marketing. So like running ads and stuff like that, like anything that can be directly tied to revenue to the point where you can do a rev share on it. I like those offers myself. If you've been on the channel for a while, I specialize in client acquisition. Now there are a ton of different sub niches, sub offers you can do within client acquisition. You can do lead generation. You can do social media marketing, which is technically client acquisition, appointment setting, so on and so forth. I like the deal generation piece. It gives me a lot of autonomy. If I was starting, again, I'm assuming I've never ran a business before. I'm probably going to start like right here. $2,500. Got to sell this 4 times. I would probably do this at a 50% upfront, 50% on the back end upon completion or upon delivery, something like that. That really doesn't matter. But I'd want some cash flow up front, mainly to cover the cost of what I need to do to fulfill. The offer itself, just pick an offer that's worked before. That's so much of this is just it's speed to launching your first outreach campaign. That's what you want. The speed, shorten the time from speed to launching the first campaign. Why? Because so many people lose faith and hope. They lose faith and hope, not even from 0 to 10K a month, but from 0 to their first dollar. That is where all the dreams live and die, is in right there. So you got to move. Faster you move, and don't try and get things right. The faster you move, the higher the chances of you actually getting some results, even if it's not perfect. Cool. So I'd sell this. Just make something up. 5 to 7. I'll source you 5 to 7 new deals in the next 8 weeks. Or we'll keep working for free until we do whatever. You don't even have to mention that contingency at the end. Okay. And just test it. I don't know what the perfect number is, dude. I do not care if it's 5 deals or 10. Do not care. Just pick one, test it. Pick one, test it. I never know anything ever. I just test. Cool. All right. You walk around with that attitude, you're going to see some results. Just test. All right. So this is a price point I'd probably start at. And I just mentioned the offer, and I mentioned how you get paid 50% upon launch or upon completion. Okay. I got to get a mouse instead of using like a magic mouse here. All right. From there, when I get them results, because I will. Eventually, you'll get some results. Just your first client doesn't have to be a home run. That second client, you'll be way better positioned. That third client, you'll be way better positioned. You might not get them results, but that fourth client, you're way better positioned. You only get better and better and better and better and better. You're gonna lose a lot of clients, but just you only need to keep 20% of every 10. That's it. You probably don't even want to hold on to every client, but that's the math right there. 4 of these, okay? And if you're not getting 4 of these a month, keep 1 on retainer. If you charge $2,500 up front, prepay for their deliverables, then charge something cheaper on retainer. Charge I don't know, like $2K. I wouldn't go any less than $2K, or else I wouldn't take you seriously as a vendor. So $2K, cool. All right. Now, the thinking behind this pricing is as follows. What is the most expensive thing I can offer for which I can deliver results for? That's what I'm thinking about all the time, even today. And my offers right now, I'll be the first one to say, are so underpriced. It's insane compared to what else is on the market. But I do fully acknowledge that I'm in a period of product development. So I'm actively taking our client feedback and using it to refine our service and refine our product. And if you are in Done With You offers, you can attest to this. And the reason is because we're getting very early results, and also we haven't turned on ads yet. When we turn on ads or when we run our cold email campaigns, I want the experience to be so seamless. Anyway, that's besides the point. So I'm thinking about this. What's the most expensive thing I can offer? Key is this part for which I can deliver results for. If you watch this channel, there's plenty enough information for you to be able to deliver results like this. You don't have to deliver results every single time. You don't have to get it right every single time. You are not going to get every single client results every single time. I need that's the psychological component again. You can't forget that part. Okay. Don't take it personally. If you tried your best, you've given it all you got, then just take it on the chin if you don't get them results. Okay. It is a reality of the work that we do as service providers. Happens. Cool. Next thing I'm thinking about is how can I structure the deal in a way that it makes it easier for a stranger to trust me. Herein lies the whole 50% up front, 50% upon completion, or 50%, or you can even split it into thirds, or 50% up front, and then 25% upon campaign launch, and then 25% upon completion. I like cash flow. Cash is king. You always want cash into the business as much as possible because it helps you do things and move faster. It helps you. The key word here is money equals choices. When you have cash, when you have money, you can make choices. Choices about tools, choices about like if you want to use that to get more clients, you keep it on reserve. I like building up big cash reserves. Handle things like, I don't know, maybe you got to refund the client, whatever it is. Or you can pour that into more marketing. You can hire staff nowadays in 2025, like very competent staff. I'm talking about like for cold email fulfillment. Isn't too expensive. It's not too expensive. You can go find someone to help you with your cold email campaigns when you're out, like, I don't know, when your time is thin. So maybe like $7.5K to $10K a month. You can hire someone to do your go-to-market stuff for you, meaning build your cold email campaigns for you. Cool. All right. But that's how I would structure the deal in a way that makes it easier for a stranger to trust me. I split up the payments, and then I'd also, by the way, I'm not spending like more than a day thinking about this offer piece. I have it right here. Just follow this. And then there's a refund, but like I don't lead with that. I'm not rushing to tell people about like the guarantee, but it's there. It's just weird when you guys have heard me say this before if you've been on the channel. Anyway. So key things you need to remember from 0 to 10K a month. I will guarantee you between this video and the other videos I've done about like going from 0 to 10K a month, all of your questions have been answered. Okay. And if they haven't, perhaps it's my bad, or perhaps you might be overthinking it, which is fine. I'm not judging anybody. I actually probably had way more questions than you. But I say that out of love, and I say that to say, fire away before you're ready. Fire away before you're ready, okay? Now, let's proceed. 99% of your problems here between 0 to 10K a month can be solved by sending more emails, since we're about to talk about cold emails in a second. 99% of your problems. So whatever problem you have right now, unless it's like getting your emails set up, 99% of your problems can be solved by sending more emails. Think about it. Client ghosted you, just send more emails, get a new one. Having issues booking people into meetings, just send more emails to more clients. The math will work in your favor. People are not accepting your deal, send more emails. Send more emails, get more clients. Someone will accept it, or it gives you more data to test to refine your offer. What else? What else? There's nothing between 0 to 10K. Not making enough money, send more emails. Like, not getting enough results for your clients, send more emails. The math will work in your favor. It's very hard not to get results if you send enough emails. And the good thing is, I've shared my cold email calculator with you guys before. So check that out, okay? But if you send enough emails, things tend to just work out. That's the thing about cold email. The thing is, though, most people, I've said this before, vastly underestimate how many emails they need to get results. I remember when I first started, I was having such a hard time getting results for clients, case study clients, but also for myself. And then when I just solely focused on sending more emails, like that just became the only thing I cared about. Well, then results happened because it's a math game. And so I realized that the only thing I need to think about is how to send as many emails as possible. Targeted emails, of course, and precise emails, but that's all I need to be thinking about. Everything else, like the company name, my logo, what else do people, like my niche, all these things. All these things are so secondary. They just feel important because we feel from 0 to 10K a month, we feel like these things matter, but they don't. We feel like we have to have everything together, but we don't. Is this recording, by the way? I'm going to be embarrassed if it's not. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. So 99% of your problems here can be solved by sending more emails. Please don't forget this, okay? You probably will, and that's fine because there's a lot going through your head. There's a lot of noise in your mind when you're first starting. But I have compassion for you because I remember what that was like. But I'll bring you back to this. It's my job. As well, so in parallel with that, 99% of your problems here will be caused by fear. This is not just with AI cold email. And we're going to get to that in a second. Don't worry. But like this stuff is important. 99% of your problems here will be caused by fear. So if you find yourself hesitating, it's fear. It's fear. If you find yourself trying to get this whole thing perfect, it is fear. You find yourself in a state of indecision or maybe backtracking on whatever it is that you do, it's fear. I'm saying this as someone who goes through this stuff pretty much on a daily basis. I won't lie to you and act like I'm the most confident business owner at every moment in time, but sometimes I just have to pull the trigger, metaphorically speaking. I know that I just have to pull the trigger. The more time I give myself to think, and this is the same with all of you. Well, I won't assume how you think, because sometimes deep thought is warranted, and waiting until you have conviction is warranted. But understand the nuance here. Typically, the more time we give ourselves to think and to make decisions, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. The more time we give ourselves, the more time we're going to take. How about that? There, put it simply. A lack of clarity, fear. Let the data inform you. Don't know what to do? Test it. That's a fancy way of saying test it. If you don't know what to do, test it. Cool? How do we get rid of fear? By sending more emails. See how this connects? 99% of your problems here can be solved by sending more emails. 99% of your problems are fear. They're rooted in fear. So how do we get rid of fear? By sending more emails. This is how we solve 99% of problems. This is how we solve fear, by sending more emails, because 99% of your problems are fear. Crazy, right? Next. Let's wrap up the psychological piece, and then we'll focus on the cold email math. So heed my words, please. I'm talking to my old self, which is why this advice works. But I can understand how you might feel like there's so much to focus on, because I have over 100 videos on this stuff. So much of this is just spending time binging this stuff. That's the best way to put it. But don't overthink this, okay? I know easier said than done, but anything that doesn't have to do with outreach, so anything that doesn't have to do with identifying new leads, reaching out to them, is secondary. You should put it on the back burner, and it deserves very little thought. So anything that doesn't have to do with outreach, store it in the back of your mind. It doesn't deserve thought right now. If I'm going from 0 to 10K a month as fast as possible, my entire business plan can be written on a sticky note. My entire business plan can be written on a sticky note. My entire business strategy for each quarter can be written on a sticky note. I'm not spending time on branding. I'm not spending time on niche selection. I'm not spending time on logos. I'm not spending time on getting famous. I barely spend time on this YouTube stuff. I'm solely focused on one thing and one thing only, sending more emails. I'm focused on one thing and one thing only, and that is sending more emails. This is almost always a differentiator. If I look at the times, I've said this before, if I look at the times where I was working with clients or doing campaigns, and the time, like the weeks where I'd have a client meeting and I didn't get them results, it's because that week I sent less emails. If I wasn't dealing with some deliverability thing or whatever. The weeks where I did get them results, I sent the amount of emails that I knew I was supposed to send. Let's just put it that way. Cool. I've included my cold email math calculator in my Gumroad. It's free. It's also in other videos on my channel. Just search it up, okay? So now let's talk about the cold email math, because from 0 to 10K a month, this is the only thing I'm thinking about. Is how many emails do I have to send? And then backtrack to how many inboxes I need. And then I'm testing all niches of all shapes and sizes. I'm not loyal to any one niche at this point because I don't know what works. I'm assuming I'm starting over again, okay? I'm assuming. But I don't know what works. I don't. Even if I think I do, or even if someone is having success in a certain niche, doesn't mean I will have success in that niche because maybe I can't speak to it as well as they can, or I don't know the moving pieces. But anyway, I'm just trying every niche. I've gotten I was saying this to a client of mine. Was it today? Yeah, it was today on a call. I've gotten some of my best results in staffing and recruiting and working with agencies, for example. But I've gone after financial services. I've gone after accountants, bookkeepers, corporate bookkeepers, you name it. Tech, you name it. Cool. So, like 20% of your clients are going to account for 80% of your results. Think about it that way. Never forget that, okay? Just keep going. Just keep going and keep swinging. Just go for one more day and things will sort themselves out magically. It's weird how it works, but it does. Anyway, so I'm only thinking about how many emails I have to send and how do I make that work? How many leads do I need to scrape every day? How many inboxes do I need? Do I need some more inboxes on warm up? It's nice to have the capacity to send 50,000 emails a month, but do I have a routine in place to where I'm scraping enough leads? Do I know the niche? Have I planned out my niches ahead of time? This is as simple as just asking ChatGPT for a list of niches and keywords and filters, and then just save the searches in Apollo and just be ready to scrape those, a couple days ahead of time, so that you can always feed new niches. Keep the clay workflows very simple. Right? This is not the video where we're going to do in-depth clay tutorials. However, you guys have seen my clay stuff like that. Like it can get complicated if I want it to, but I don't like running complicated clay workflows because there's really no reason to do that. Anyway, so in terms of math, I am aiming for a 1% reply rate. And I'm definitely aiming to send at least 500 emails a day, ideally closer to 1,000 if I'm just starting out. Backtrack to how many inboxes you need, by the way. Sending about 15, max 20 emails per inbox. You guys can do the math. I'm not in math mode right now. Cool. 10,000 emails a month. What that comes down to is 20 sending days. So if we're doing 20 sending days, so Monday to Friday, then that comes down to 500 emails a day. You'll be just fine. I don't see a reality in which you don't get results in this if you just do what I say on this channel. It would be very unreasonable for you to not at least book a meeting in your first week or two of sending 500 emails a day. I know this because yesterday I posted a case study video, and right after that video came out, one of my clients in my Done With You offers closed a deal. sending less emails than this, but also I built the campaign with him. But he executed. So I'm not going to take credit for that. Anyway, so the 1%, like things like the 1% reply rate, especially the volume of emails, absolutely. I'm not budging on 500. If I'm sending in less than 500 emails per day, I don't really want this that bad. I don't really want it that bad. The 1% reply rate though it's not law. Like I've had some of my most successful campaigns. Granted, these agencies bill really high. Some agencies do. I've had some of my most successful campaign. Oh, this one did over 1%. This one did over 1%. Some of my most successful campaigns have hit less than 1%. So this is not law, but I'm aiming for this because if it's lower than 1%, you still have some room for improvement. So definitely work on it. But it's not law, as we may even overperform or we may underperform. And it is really just more so to hold myself accountable to like improving my campaigns. This is to hold myself accountable to sending a certain amount of emails per day so that I cannot blame anyone or anything else for my lack of results, because I know what I have to do. I set my benchmarks for success. My benchmark for success is to make sure I'm sending this amount of emails at a minimum every single day. I know that if I just do that every day, the chances of me not hitting 10K a month in whatever time frame, insert time frame, are slim to none. It would be very unreasonable for me to not hit 10K a month. The math just works in my favor. This is why the only thing I think about is just sending more emails. The math works in my favor. Let it be 3 months, let it be 6 months. I don't care. I don't care. The fastest way to hit something is to just stay in it. Fastest way to hit 10K a month is to stop switching business models. Every business model is more than capable of hitting $1 million a month. Cool. Now, the main thing here is give yourself time. Like, this can be a lot. If this is your first business ever, or like you're coming from corporate, you're going into business now, or you're starting this business model for the first time, maybe you came from some other business model, give yourself time to learn this stuff. I think that's one of the best things I did coming into this business model is I gave myself time. I'm like, Pablo, this is me talking to myself. I'm like, Pablo, I know that this is going to take some time. I'm going to give myself time to just learn the craft by getting my reps in, but like just learning copywriting. You don't have to be a copywriting expert. You guys see my writing right now? I need an actual mouse. Learn copywriting. I came in knowing sales, but like learn sales, learn customer service and providing a good client experience, which is where the bulk of someone's desire to give you a testimonial will come from. More so than, it's neck and neck with results. But give yourself time. Know that this isn't going to be like a 30-day thing or maybe even a 3-month thing. But when you hit 10K a month, it's not like you get dumber. You have the skills to keep going and to do it again. It's way easier the second time. Just give yourself time to get here. And also sell expensive stuff, because this is what allows you to get the client results in the first place. Okay? You can't do much selling $1,000 thing. Sorry. You just can't. This doesn't give you, for email, it's good, but in most cases, this doesn't give you much room to do stuff. Okay? So we talked a lot about tactics, but also so much of this is the mindset piece, because when the mindset piece is there, this becomes a bit of a joke. It's kind of like bench pressing. Think about it that way. If you've been in the gym for a while, then this is like one plate on the bar. It's like a 45-pound plate on the bar. If you don't bench press, sorry for the abstract example. But point is, once you do it once, or once you can work your way up to getting here. It's not luck. It's not magic. Just it's systematic. Stop allowing yourself to believe that it's this lucky thing. Not saying you do, but just don't. And then you become the person. Okay. My team will tell you, I work every single day, including my birthday and Christmas. You don't have to do that. Part of why we build a business is so that we don't have to like be slaves to our work. However, I just like what I do. But when you become a certain kind of person, and I also want a certain kind of results, and when you become a certain person who shows up every day, ready to give value, ready to give people the best possible client experience they can ask for, so on, so like studying sales, like when you're eating lunch, maybe you're watching a YouTube video about cold email copywriting or whatever it is. When you become that person who has this insatiable thirst for knowledge, and then you invest in yourself in whatever way, tools, whatever it is, it becomes very unreasonable for you to not hit your money goal. Just stay in it until you hit it. Like, what's the magic here? Just stay on the path until you hit it. I don't know what else to tell you. Cool. Just don't stop until you hit 10K a month. It's that simple. And if it feels any harder than that, well, then you got go read a book or something. You got some work to do, or maybe you got to watch some more of these videos. But it's the psychological piece, okay? Because there are people half your age, half as smart as you, who are doing it. They have just dumbed itself down, as I have attempted to do in this video. Cool. I'm gonna let you screenshot this right here. Go ahead. And I'm going to zoom in case you want to take another screenshot. And then, because I won't be able to give this out as a lead magnet, I don't want to pay for licenses on Mirrorboard. Anyway, if you want to learn how to do this stuff, I'm putting on a masterclass, a live masterclass. It's on Wednesday, November 19th. Wednesday, November 19th. You should attend. Give me 1 second. I'll give you the invite, okay? Wednesday, November 19th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is in the description to register. It's also in the pinned comment. Wednesday, November 19th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll show you how to do this. I will pull the curtain on how I do all of this, how I get results like this, not just for myself over and over and over and over again, like I've been doing for a while now, but also for clients. You can start getting payments like this. Clients, cold email campaigns, all the deals you see me close clients on this channel. I did one masterclass back in October. People loved it. So I'm putting on another one. This one's going to be even better. Okay. So it's free. It's free to attend. If you attend, you're going to get it. I will personally promise you that you're going to get a ton out of it, and you can ask me questions in there. But it's primarily going to be a masterclass, and you should attend. You'll like it. It'll do you good, especially if you're not at 10K a month yet. You got to be doing wise things with your time, like attending masterclasses where I literally show you how to do this like 5 times over, as shown in these places. Cool. All right. Hope to see you there. See you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.